Hey yo, Mark here for Mark's Max Muscle, and this is my 40th video. Thank you. And in keeping with tradition, I'm going to be doing a special feature. Now, so far all my special features involve bodybuilding in some capacity. But for this one, we're going to veer away from the greatest sport on earth and actually take a look at some other sports. In what capacity, you might ask? Well, today we're actually going to take a look at some trophies handed out in some of the greatest sports that the world has to offer. Now, we're going to mainly focus on team sports, with a couple of exceptions, including bodybuilding, as the bodybuilding title is an annual award and not just a belt that can be handed out at any time. So without further ado, let's have a look at some trophies. I'm going to get these two trophies out of the way first, because they're not going to be in the runnings for my favorite. In both cases, it's not a team sport, and the winner of the trophy gets to keep it for good, so there's a little bit of a difference. The first one is the Sandow Statue. It was first actually awarded in 1901 by Eugene Sandow himself, as he promoted the very first ever bodybuilding show called The Great Competition. There was actually 3 awards. The first was a gold Sandow statue, and silver for second and bronze for third. That's a good idea for the IFBB to do now. Anyway, the IFBB itself actually first started using the Sandow statue as an award for Mr. Olympia in 1977, and it is still used today. Here's a pretty cool rendition of it, a solid gold version, handed out to Phil Heath in, I believe, 2014. Now take a look at the trophy that's awarded to the winner of the World's Strongest Man competition. I just love this trophy. Now, throughout the history of the World's Strongest Man, there's been many different variations of the trophy. But in 1999, they got this version of it and they stuck with it. And the winner in '99 was Yoko Ohola. And the most recent winner was Eddie Hall. Anyway, now that we got them two out of the way, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this video. And on to baseball. This is what's known as the Commissioner's Trophy. It's handed out by the Commissioner of Baseball to the winning team of the Major League of Baseball's World Series. It's been around since 1967, but they actually only named it in 1985. It's one of the few trophies that are named after a person, and in my humbled opinion, is the least impressive in this list. This thing weighs 30 pounds, and the tallest flag reaches 24 inches, and it is 11 inches wide. Here's what it looks like from the inside. It features a sterling silver baseball with 24-karat gold stitching. Also features longitude and latitude lines representing the Earth. There's 30 flags in total, one for every team. And these flags are all gold-plated. The base has a copy of the Commissioner's signature and the words, "Presented by the Commissioner of Baseball." The New York Yankees have the most Commissioner Trophy wins, with 7 titles to their credit. Next in line, we have the trophy that they hand out for the men's single Wimbledon championships in tennis. This is a more traditional trophy. It sits 18 inches in height. It was first awarded in 1887, so of course the original is in a museum, so the winners now receive a 13-inch tall replica. This is the Webb Ellis Cup. It bears quite a striking resemblance to the tennis trophy. It is, in fact, the Rugby World Cup. It stands 15 inches in height and is made of gilded silver. In my opinion, it's a little nicer than the tennis trophy, but they're basically the same design, with the rugby trophy having a little bit more detail. Have a look at the Grey Cup. If you're familiar with Canadian football, then you definitely recognize this trophy. It's one of the oldest trophies, being commissioned back in 1909 by Albert Gray, who the trophy was named after. Of course, it's a replica of the original handed out now to the winners of the annual football game bearing the same name as the trophy. It's basically the Super Bowl for the CFL. I would have had this trophy higher on my list, but it's actually been proven very breakable over the years. On more than 6 different occasions, the trophy was damaged. It's quite a size at 33 inches in height, and is definitely one of the most legendary trophies of all time. This is the Vince Lombardi Trophy, named after the famous football coach. It is, of course, presented annually to the winning team of the Super Bowl. I think it's a pretty cool trophy. It stands 22 inches in height, weighs 7 pounds of pure sterling silver. It was first awarded in 1967, and of course is still used today. I love this next trophy. It's the Larry O'Brien Trophy, and as you may have guessed, it's the award given out in basketball to the winning team of the NBA Finals. This cool-looking trophy stands 2 feet tall and weighs 14.5 pounds. It's made out of sterling silver and 24-karat gold overlay. It was first awarded in 1977. I like the Larry O'Brien Trophy a little bit more than the Vince Lombardi because it just has that much more personality. And it's a little bit bigger too. Have a look at the FIFA World Cup. This is, of course, the World Cup of soccer. It was a close second for being my favorite trophy, but lands in second place. This award is actually only given out every 4 years to the winner of the FIFA World Cup. Of course, in Europe, soccer is better known as football. This trophy is 11 pounds of pure gold and stands 14.5 inches in height. It depicts 2 human figures holding up the world. There's just something about this trophy that I absolutely love. Perhaps the knowledge of that it's made out of pure gold. But I do love the design. Well, with only one trophy left on my list, then unless you're quite unfamiliar with the sport of ice hockey, then you've probably guessed my favorite all-time trophy is in fact the Stanley Cup. The Stanley Cup was first awarded in 1893, but it wasn't until 1906 when it was contested by a professional team. The original cup was made of sterling silver and stands 7.3 inches in height with a diameter of 11.5 inches. It now resides at the Hockey Hall of Fame. The cup received a new ring from time to time until 1932, when it took on yet another form. This is actually when the original bowl was retired. Traditionally, the names of all the players of the winning team were all engraved in the cup. So naturally, the cup was running out of room. So from 1932 to 1947, the cup had received ring after ring after ring to accommodate all the names. I must say, this is quite a version of the cup. At this point, it was actually known as the Stovepipe Cup. In 1948, the cup took on a whole new look. This is basically the version we see today. with a few minor changes done in 1958. The cup will most likely remain with this look for good. To prevent the cup from growing, each time the bottom ring gets full, the top ring is actually removed and placed in the Hockey Hall of Fame. To me, the Stanley Cup remains the most iconic trophy of any sport, and is the most sought out prize in all of hockey. Lord Stanley's Cup is without a doubt my all-time favorite trophy. Well, that about does it for my 40th video, and I look forward to doing 40 more in the future, so keep a lookout for all the action. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe if you did, and that's it for now. This is Mark for Mark's Max Muscle.